Good evening, sports fans. Crovet for the win of the Token Minorities here today with week 1 of the Stab League. Now, thankfully, I'm saved by my fellow guest, who actually isn't really a guest because he's my boss. So introduce yourself, Jolt.
How's it going, guys? This is Jolt from the Token Minorities, and I'm also playing in the Stab League this season. Not going to upload every single week, but I had a really good week 1 game, so I thought I'd share it with you guys here as well. But first, we're going to let Danza talk about his, so you can go ahead and do your thing, buddy.
So, I'm going to look at my team real quick. We already talked about it, but I made like a couple minor changes. I think it was Manectrix EVs. I was actually missing 16 EVs, which made me very sad, so I added those in. And I think I adjusted Nidokings by like 20 EV points in and out of special attack. So, all in all, though, it was virtually the same as the team building. So, my opponent brought pretty much right around what I expected. It's really scary. The Kyogre and Formosa is going to be really bad. I don't like Mega Mawile either. Unfortunately, being that I have double Scarf, Psychic types Hoop Unbound's really unfortunate. And Circuitry is a wild card for me. I've never played it. I don't know what it's capable of. My goal would be to keep Nidokings alive to check it, but we'll see what happens. Let's jump into the game. Are you ready, Jolt?
I'm ready.
All right. We're going to hit play right now. So I'm going to lead off with my Scarf Jirachi. Like I said, this was double Scarf week. So not Shark week, Scarf week. I go for the U-turn.
What's the difference?
There is no difference.
Anyway, go ahead.
Except when I take a water spout in the rain to the face, which was just awful. Even my only check to Kyogre gets almost destroyed by a water spout at 80% HP. I'm forced against this Mega Mawile to switch into Nidokings and basically lose it.
That's ridiculous. The Mega Mawile did half with the player up. Like, are you kidding me? It's a Nidokings.
It's ridiculous. I went for Signal Beam over predicting, and that's kind of really bad. Only nice things that the rain's not up, but I really was expecting the Hoopa U to come in right there. I thought it was so obvious. The U turns out with the grass thing as I knock off the Circuitry. Of course, it's a Z move user, so it didn't do anything. And there's my undoing right here. It's the Z Hypnosis. I switch out into Lurantis, hoping I can take an attack, and I actually do, which is kind of nice, I guess, but I should have just probably foddered it off. I don't know. I do end up getting the special attack boost, so that's kind of nice, but the Thunderbolt crits, which makes me even more sad, and I should have switched out here and just foddered Lurantis off, but I didn't. So there's mistake number 1, I'd say. Maybe the only big mistake I made, but I do have a Scarf Mewtwo, which he did not expect, so that was a really nice play. Psystrike, rather, not Sky Strike, takes that thing out. So we're just kind of predicting each other here, and unfortunately Formosa, he makes a really good double switch into it as it goes for a lunge, and now the game is pretty much over. Unfortunately, I just can't do anything. I was really hoping an Iron Head would KO here. It didn't. And then he goes for a really nice play there and high jump kicks, so there is absolutely no chance that I can win this game now. He has double the speed. It's over. Jolt, can you read my obituary?
Sure. No, but this game really showed, like, you know, why Ubers are Ubers and why most of these Pokemon are typically banned in draft format. Pheromosa just went nuts there at the end, and the Circuitry wasn't obviously an Uber by any means, but it still put in a lot of work against your team. Was your Lurantis AV? Is that what that set was?
It was actually Yachi Berry, max special defense, max HP.
Did you have Synthesis?
I had Giga Drain.
Okay, yeah, that might have been something I would have recommended. Otherwise, just having recovery on it, since like a Spadef thing would be good. Like, obviously the rain from Kyogre kind of stops you, but
that's why I didn't.
Yeah, but like the rain's not always going to be on the field, and like you really needed that thing's health. Because at first I was wondering, why in the world do you have Lurantis on this team? But yeah, it's kind of all you had for Kyogre. So,
yeah, I mean, if you saw my other Mons, yeah, it was the only sort of check that I had other than offensive pressure, and I tried. But I think between Formosa, Hoopa U, and Mawile, my Scarfers just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, even Kyogre. So Kyogre is even banned. Like, in the TTM qualifier tournaments right now that we're doing, we have like this Ubers tier, and Kyogre is banned there entirely because Kyogre was deemed too good even for even as like a gold classified Uber, like the top level of Ubers. It's just way too good, and you kind of saw that here too. It forced you to bring what a Lurantis that it couldn't even run reliable recovery to be able to try to check it, and like then that left you so open to all these other major threats. So really, your opponent's draft is so good.
I know. I mean, it was just a really, really rough game. But this is my opponent, whose name was DJ, by the way. He's obviously battling in the Stab League. He played a good game. I think he made a couple of good plays. It was a tough loss for me, but at the same time, I'm not going to complain too much because it's an Ubers league, basically. Not a full Ubers league, but it's something that I've never experienced, never expected. So, hey, you know what? It was a learning experience. Also, I learned what Z Hypnosis was.
Better late than never.
Better now than before the NPL.
Yeah, that too.
So, the Stab League is for learning, so there we go.
Yeah.
Alright, I think we've read my obituary.
Alright, so let's kick on over to my game. So I am playing against Trev the King, who I'm sure most of you are already pretty familiar with, or TrevCL is also what he goes by. So yeah, of course I get him in week 1, because every single time I'm in the same league as Trev, I get to play him in week 1, it seems. So yeah, so the matchup here, my opponent Trev has access to Giratina O, Deoxys Speed as his Ubers, and then Tyranitar, Drill, Keldeo, Sylveon, Klefki, Celebi, Jolteon, Hariyama, and Mega Pinsir. So definitely a really threatening team. My draft is Greninja, Protean, Aegislash, Zygarde 50, Terrakion, Serperior, Crobat, Snorlax, Tapu Fini, Stakataka, and Rotom Heat. My Z-move users, and Mega Gardevoir, I'm not sure if I said that. My Z-move users, Zygarde 50 and Stakataka. His are is just Deoxys Speed. So, yeah, matchup is pretty cool. Sorry you don't have the pretty little graphic that I normally show for my matchups. We're kind of just doing this impromptu style right now. So, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the team I'm going to bring. Only going to spend a couple of minutes on it. Go ahead.
You're doing this in what? I'm sorry, because this cuts out every so often.
Yeah, we can just use my audio. It's fine for that bit.
All right.
But yeah, so just to go over the team here very briefly, not going to spend too much time on it. So I have the Aegislash, pretty nice set. It's just SD, like a really classic set that you would have seen on the ladder when Aegislash was not banned. So just Iron Head, King Shield, Shadow Sneak, Swords Dance, basically max HP, max attack. Idea is to use this as a mid-game breaker. It's just really good against a lot of his team. Both of his Ubers are weak to Ghost types, so just, you know, SD Shadow Sneak spam is just naturally really good against that. Plus, it's an Aegislash, so it takes hits from literally everything. Then I have the Zygarde 50, which is kind of bulky with Dragon Dance, Crunch, Thousand Arrows, and Extreme Speed with the Darkinium Z. The Z Crunch is really nice for some of his more likely switch-ins to Zygarde, being stuff like the Celebi and I guess the Giratina as well. Giratina wouldn't like the Dragon Stab, but because my team has a Tapu Fini, Dragon moves aren't quite as spammable as they would be otherwise, so I felt like Z Crunch was a little bit better than Z Outrage in this case, and I have a bit of extra bulk on this. I don't exactly remember all of the details behind the EV spreads. I built this team quite a while ago, but still just, it's fat enough to take hits from his Electric type and Jolteon, as well as just deal out a lot of damage against his team. Then I have a Momentum Gainer Protean Greninja with Life Orb, just really good coverage. U-Turn is also nice for the Celebi, as well as Ice Beam, Extra Sensory for the Keldeo, and Water Shuriken to make sure that the Drill cannot beat me in Sand. And then I have a very nice Stakataka, so it's basically a Spadef tank with Toxic and Rocks. It's my dedicated rocker. It's also probably my best switch into Jolteon on this team if he decides to bring it, as otherwise the rest of the mons that I'm bringing are pretty weak to stuff like Specs and Life Orb Jolteon, so I think this really helps with that. The Papa Berry allows me to get back a little bit more HP than I would have been able to otherwise against something like a Specs Jolteon. But yeah, just basically my dedicated rocker. I don't really expect this to do much else in this matchup. My only rockers were like Terrakion and this, and I really didn't like Terrakion's matchup, so that's why I went with this one. And then we have the Crobat, which is Choice Scarf, just gives me some way to outspeed Deoxys Speed. Most of my Scarfers don't outspeed that thing, so yeah, I had to do that. Heat Wave is nice for the Excadrill and for the Klefki, and otherwise U-Turn and Brave Bird are the moves I'm going to click. Cross Poison is just in case I need it for the Sylveon. And then finally I have probably the win con in this game, which is Tapu Fini, Taunt, Calm Mind, Dual Stab, outspeeding Max Speed Tyranitar. It just blows through his entire team. His only real responses to this, his only real response singular to this is probably his Celebi, and that's really a soft response at best. So yeah, this thing is just really good against him overall. So yeah, so let's go ahead and jump on over to the replay.
Tell me when to play.
Alright, so looking at my opponent's team, Trev decided to bring the Deoxys, Speed, Giratina O, Tyranitar, Excadrill, Hariyama, and the Klefki. So right away noticing no Celebi, which is actually really nice, obviously, for my Tapu Fini. So that's just looking incredible here in this game. I don't want to... It's really tempting, like, seeing this type of lead matchup to want to just... Or seeing this type of team matchup to want to lead with Tapu Fini because it matches up so well. But I think I'm going to try to preserve that a little bit in this game and break through his team at a more opportune time as opposed to letting it take a bunch of damage potentially on turn 1. So in terms of my lead, then I want to either lead with my Crobat to get off a pretty free U-turn against anything, especially if I expect the Deoxys lead, or to lead off with my Stealth Rocker in the Stakataka, as he didn't bring the Jolt gun in this game, so I don't really value Stakataka's health too much because he just has so many ways to hit it really hard. So I am going to actually lead off with the Crobat though instead, expecting him to want to hazard stack with the Deoxys, or at least get up early Stealth Rocks with that. So with that said, we can probably go ahead and start this. We're trying to sync this up here. So 3, 2, 1, play. Play. Alright, so he leads off with the Tyranitar, as I decided to lead off with my Crobat, as I mentioned, going to just go for the U-turn to scout out his damage, knowing that he's probably going to go for a Crunch or a Stone Edge, or maybe even his own Rocks on turn 1, as I go into my Stakataka. Now to scout out whether he has Low Kick or Earthquake, I am going to go back into my Crobat, because worst case scenario, I'm able to get off another U-turn, and then go straight into my Zygarde to immediately threaten him, as he decides to get up his Stealth Rock. So that's definitely a nice play. Now here, expecting him to preserve his Tyranitar for the sand for his Excadrill later in the game, I just Dragon Dance up in his face as he goes for the Ice Punch, stays in, goes for the Ice Punch, and then freezes me, and I stay frozen, and I die. So that's kind of unfortunate. Play that I'll... Huh? Yeah. Play that I'll probably talk about here later on, is now I'm going to go just into my Fini. I'm just going to click Surf. It's really free, especially with the sand expiring. The T-Tar would have been in range. He goes straight into his Klefki, which I thought was kind of odd, but I guess he doesn't really have the best switch-ins to this anyways, as I'm just going to taunt this, and he tries to Calm Mind in my face, but I have Taunt Calm Mind, which beats this 1v1 every single day of the week, so I could just fire off a really free Surf, and even this, if this is a max HP Assault Vest Hariyama, it's going to be in range of Surf plus Moonblast, almost guaranteed, and that is exactly what happens here as it falls to the Moonblast as he goes into the Tyranitar to try to set the sand for his Drill, I'm assuming, because nothing else on his team can really deal with this, so he's going to have to sack off his T-Tar, and now he goes into the Drill, he fires off an Earthquake, and this damage reveals to me, I think he's Assault Vested Drill? I'm not entirely sure, but I think that's probably Assault Vested Drill damage, otherwise +1 Surf should have knocked it out. So he's going to be able to get off a couple hits on my Fini, and I'm going to be able to knock it out with the second Surf, as now he's going to go into his Deoxys, and Tapu Fini is an absolute champion, and takes the Shadow Ball from this quote-unquote Uber, and now he's going to be able, or the Sand's going to take me out at that point, but I got really good chip damage, because now it's going to guaranteed be in range of my Shadow Sneak, as he is going to reveal the Z Shadow Ball Never Ending Nightmare on my Aegislash, but this is a really free Swords Dance for me, because at this point in the game, if he is not Foul Play Klefki, this can just win, potentially at this point. So it was definitely worth going for the SD there, followed up by the Shadow Sneak, as now just to scout out if he has the Foul Play, I'm going to King Shield once, as that's exactly what he has. So I'm going to keep Aegislash around as a way to deal with the Giratina in the late game, as that thing's really fat and not exactly easy to take on. I'm going to go into my Stakataka here, knowing that Klefki really can't touch me. My defense is way higher than my attack, so Foul Play just bounced off. As I go for the Toxic, trying to catch the Giratina to make my late game a little bit easier, but he makes the good play and stays in with Klefki to get up his hazards, and I'm going to be able to take that out with a Gyro Ball, as now he goes into the Giratina, definitely going to sack this off. Maybe he doesn't have coverage for me, but obviously he does in Aura Sphere. And now I'm going to go to my Greninja, and the combination of Ice Beam from Greninja plus Brave Bird from my Crobat should be able to knock this out, but unfortunately I get an absolute min roll with my Ice Beam, so that means that this Brave Bird is now a roll to take him out, and I don't get the roll, and so I'm going to lose my Crobat as well to the Giratina, and now it's a pure 50-50 here at the end. I can go for a King Shield on his Shadow Sneak that he definitely has, and if I get that play right, which I do, I'm going to be able to survive the Shadow Sneak and take him out with my own. If I got that play wrong and he went for like a Roost or just any non-physical attacking move against my Aegislash, he probably would have been able to take me out with his own Shadow Sneak on that turn. So got a little lucky with the 50-50 there at the end, but we did pull it out. Danza, what do you have to say?
Wow, I haven't seen Aegislash in a long time, but I forgot how It was.
Yeah, Aegislash ridiculous. It's so good.
So that's a neat game, and let's just take a moment to appreciate that Deoxys Speed has the offenses of a regular Mon.
Yeah, it really does. Like, what Deoxys Speed needs Life Orb. If it's going to be any kind of offensive threat, it has to have Life Orb. But like in Trev's case, I understand why he did that, right? He wanted to be able to hit the Aegislash harder, specifically with the Shadow Ball, so he wanted the Z move on it. But in terms of like breaking potential, Deoxys Speed is not that strong unless it has a boosting item.
Yeah, like I would never imagine taking it. It just isn't for me, I guess. But you know, still Giratina almost brought it back too, which was also crazy.
Gosh. Giratina
remember April Fools when it was in OU for like a week?
Good times. I had fun with that. I really did. But no, Giratina, it's that Ice Beam that bounced off. It did 65, like 64 to the Giratina from a max special attack Protean Greninja with a Life Orb. And like that's insane, because I was sure, like I admittedly didn't run every single calc I should have in this game, but even so, I was blown away that did so little, and then it still was not guaranteed in range of the Brave Bird from Crobat. But you know, if the roll was anything but minimum, it would have been a much better chance to take it out with Crobat. As you can see, it lived on like 1 HP or 1% at least. So you know, it is what it is. That's Pokemon. But yeah, happy to pick up the win for sure.
Yeah, congratulations. Hey, you want to trade?
I mean, you could win next week.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna win next week too. So then that's better. Then we both. I think that's better. Let's go with that.
If you don't give me this win, I'm gonna ask for my Stab League Draft Tournament Championship back.
Ooh, put me on the spot here. Well, we'll talk later. All
right, boss, you got it.
All right. So are we done here? I think we're done here.
I think we're done. Sports fans, it's the end of an era. It's only week 1.
I was gonna say, what?
It's the end of a week 1 era. On to week 2.
Yeah.
Where hopefully I'll at least do a little bit better.
You will, I'm sure. Your team's cool.
I mean, I like it a lot. I just think it had a really bad matchup this week.
Yeah. I mean, you have a Mewtwo and a Celesteela. Like, you'll be all right.
Yeah, I guess so. I'll do my best, and I wish you all the best next week as well. Maybe if you get another good match, we'll be coming back. Maybe we should do this more often if we have some time.
I would, like, as time allows, whenever my matches are, like, really close. Like, this one was ridiculously close, and, like, there's no reason not to upload matches that are that close, so I thought I'd just jump in for this one for the heck of it. But
yeah, no, obviously you're welcome to join in on this time slot. So this is going to be my Stab League time slot every week, 5 o'clock, Monday. Well, not every week, actually. It's every other week, because that's when there are 2 weeks to play games. But if Jolt has his games done and he wants to join me, he's more than welcome to do so.
Yeah, sounds good. Alright, let's go ahead and wrap this up. So thanks for coming out, guys. I hope you enjoyed both of these battles. And thanks for having me, Danza. And I guess we will see you all in a couple weeks.
You got it. Peace.